RMS Queen Mary is a British ocean liner that primarily sailed the North Atlantic Ocean route from 1937 to 1967. The Queen Mary was a response to the express superliners built by the German, French, and Italian companies in the late 1920s and early 1930s, but in August 1939, the Queen Mary became a troopship to fight in World War II. The Queen Mary could carry 15,000 men in one voyage, in which the ship was so cramped it would be common to see people sleeping on the deck. The Queen Mary would carry troops from Australia and New Zealand to the United Kingdom to fight. The Queen Mary would also carry men from New York to Stockholm. The Queen Mary was always under the risk of being attacked by U-boats, so the Queen Mary was always ordered to never stop at all costs, even though the Queen Mary was the fastest ship at the time. For this reason, the Queen Mary was never caught by a German ship.
The tragedy of the Queen Mary is where the ships lie in the Bay of Long Beach. The Queen Mary is now a tourist attraction for people every day. When the Queen Mary first came to Long Beach, it had to be renovated, and the parts of the ship that made it move had to be taken out. The smokestacks and the two boiler rooms had to be replaced because they were falling apart and were barely kept together. The reason for the Queen Mary was sold to Long Beach was because plane travel between Europe to North America became cheap enough for the average person, and there was no reason to keep the ship.